Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Wizards Outlook. We got Cardo Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr. The Washington Wizards decided to open New Year's in a fun way with the 125-107 win over the Chicago Bulls. Um, I know for me, before I asked you guys, I thought the bench was amazing in this one. I know if anybody didn't catch the game, see the box score. Poole had 30, Levine had 32, but I think Washington kind of staggering that bench unit with some of their vets. Um, it's paid dividends at times. Also thought that some of the kids, well, every one of the kids tonight played, really impacted the game. Not in a big flashy way, but I thought each and every one of them was solid. We saw Sar with the double double. Bud was just really solid as a guard. I'm really liking what they've been doing. Where it seemed like tonight, even with Brogdon off 4 times, they kind of still let Bud Brock as like the lead guard at times, which is great for his development. I thought he did a good job handling it. We saw Keyshawn get going, doing what it is he brings to the table, and a couple. I think it was like a stretch of the start of the fourth quarter. The group was Bud, Brogdon, Keyshawn, Kispert, and JV. I thought that group did a great job of making sure there was no tomfoolery to be had late in the fourth with how they started it. But Ray, I'll start with you and then Cardell. Just you guys' thoughts on the game.
Yeah, pretty solid outing overall. To be honest, one thing that stood out was the way they shared the basketball. Um, yeah, they that thing was moving tonight, man. And they turnovers. They had 15 turnovers, but in the second half, like they really took care of the ball, and that led to them being able to stretch their lead out. It got a little choppy with the Bulls were kind of making the comeback like into the third, beginning of the fourth. But for the most part, the Wizards were pretty solid. They forced 20 turnovers and got 33 points off of them, so that was huge. They were solid in the paint, 56 points in the paint as well. Um, it, and just their body language looks different. They look like a more confident group. They're competing. They just coming off that doubleheader against the Knicks. They just look like a different team in these last few games, and that's a promising sign. And like they're at the point now, like the Bulls made mistakes and they were able to capitalize on them. I don't think they were in a space to do that early in the season, but yeah, man, they're just playing with a lot more energy, a lot more fight, and a lot more hustle. Yeah, when Poole has a night like this where he looks confident, his shots are falling, then he's a pretty impactful player. He just got to figure out a way to be in this type of flow without having being lights out from three. Um, like most of his good games coincide with his 3-point shooting. So he just got to find a way to be more versatile in that aspect. But you brought up the kids, like they're super consistent to be such a young group. They come in, they fight and compete every play, and that gives them a chance on most nights. To be perfectly honest, Champagne is continuing to come to his own and take advantage of his opportunity. Sar, his development is happening rapidly. He's just figuring out who he is in this league right now, figuring out where he could be, most impactful. And yeah, like at the beginning of the season, we saw him just kind of hanging out at the 3-point line a lot, and now he's kind of being more judicious with those shots. If he's in the flow and he's making them, he'll take them, but he's going down low a lot more and getting in the paint. Defensively, he's continuing to show his versatility there. So yeah, man, good night for the Wizards. They almost 20-point win.
Cardell.
Yeah, I think the word for me for tonight is balance. The Wizards had a lot of balance offensively, balance overall because they got it done defensively as well. When you had 36 assists to how many made to 49 made baskets, I mean that's deadly efficient. it's hard to defend a team that moves the ball. As any coach worth their soul, the one thing that can kill any defense is the pass. So you constantly moving around in rotation, you a step behind. You constantly have to communicate with your teammates. You hustling, bustling from side to side, one sideline to the other sideline, down in the paint, back out on the perimeter. It not only wears you out, but it also gives the offensive team the advantage. The offensive team know where they're trying to go with the ball. You just trying to stop it, and you're trying to hope you can contain it, and at times hope you're guessing right. You know what I mean? And obviously the Bulls guessed wrong. You know what I mean? Also, the Wizards, they shot 36 threes, and I'm not mad at it because when they were hitting them. But if you break it down, that's 9 1/4. That's reasonable with the shooters that they have. Chicago's 14 of 47, 29%. We've been beating this drum. How many teams have we seen come here, including the Wizards, and literally lose a game because they wouldn't stop shooting threes because they weren't hitting them? And those long shots, those long misses sparked the other teams' transition offense, their fast break, and also it was basically like a turnover. You know what I mean? Because you're not getting nothing out of that possession, and it wears on you. And then it puts more emphasis on you to make the next basket because you got to make up ground for the baskets you just gave up with the poor shot selection that you had. And that's what you see with Chicago, and that's what the Wizards did also. 33 points off 20 Chicago turnovers, whereas the Wizards, they had 17 turnovers, but they only allowed 11. They only allowed 11 points, and a good part of that was they were able to get back, and Chicago faced a set defense. Now, if they were jacking more threes and not hitting them, they wouldn't have been able to get back and set their defense up to stop them. And that's what you saw, man. But, Washington won points in the paint, 56-48. It was just honestly a bench points, 58-33 Wizards. It was just dominance in every aspect of the game. And, it was led by Jordan Poole. And I like how, I got to give him their props. You got to give props where it's due. Him and Kuz not coming in here trying to mess up the rhythm. When they were out those couple games, like Ray said, the Wizards found a lot of confidence over the last few games, and it's starting to be consistent. And they're coming in and just fitting in. They're not trying to be like, I get y'all got y'all thing going on, but y'all got to try to incorporate that around me because we're back. We back. Build off that. No, they just getting there where they fit in and trying to keep this thing going. And not only are they much more competitive, obviously the Knicks got them. Monday they was on a mission to restore order, so to speak. But the last few games, the Wizards competitively, they've been way more competitive. And I mean, it was a stretch there early in the season, especially in November. It was just like repeat last year. You know what I mean? So it's just encouraging that these guys are producing. The youngins are growing up quick, fast, in a hurry. I think early in the season, we had a viewer who commented and said that next year we should see signs of being ready. And I was like, nah, it's going to come sooner. It's like early part of this year, you starting to see it, the learning curve. And part of that is just the experience. Sarr been a pro for a minute. So has Coulibaly. Keyshawn and Bud played in the ACC, played a lot of big-time high school basketball as well. But also, man, it's those youngest heart. Let's call it what it is. There are other players that went the same route and they're not producing the same. You know what I mean? And you could start to feel things trending upward with the Wizards, man. And that's all you can ask for at this point. And ironically, they had the same exact record now that they had at this time last year with a far younger team. And damn near entirely brand new team. Go figure. So it's just wild. It just really tells you, like, we expected this because of the youth movement and the key free agents. Just are basically an entire new team outside of Poole and Kuz. It just tells you how bad it was last year. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point last year, we were just like, man, all right, let's start looking through the draft and see what's out there, man. But this time it's like, yeah, youngins, keep building. You know what I mean? Because they can still sneak a few more wins before All-Star break, man. Because I think a lot of teams will come in here or when they go on the road and not really take them serious for a little while longer. You know what I mean? I think they're going to be able to sneak out some wins if they contain this type of effort, shot selection, and efficiency on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I think like even just that little bit of discernment, like even the third quarter of things. I think JP took like a wild three. For the most part, he was buttoned down tonight. I think he took a wild three late in the third, and it kind of sparked a quick Bulls run. And then you saw Washington, as you guys have been mentioning, the difference between now and maybe a month ago. They got 3 straight stops, settled all that down, and got right back to doing what they needed to do. Versus we've seen those moments turn into quarter-long runs at times or long sequences and things of that nature. That's not what happened. Also, I do want to say shout out to Lonzo Ball. It's good seeing him back out there healthy tonight. I look a little springy at times. I know he glassed Kispert once, got on the board somewhere. He's happy to see any athlete that's been dealing with a bunch of injuries get back to knowing what it is they love. But yeah, for the Wizards, I have nothing to add. Player of the game for you guys.
Got to go with Mr. Poole.
Mm-hmm.
All right, since that was so easy, X Factor.
Working on the triple double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
Right, you cool with Sarr? You had another candidate?
Yeah, I'm good with that. This is becoming a norm for him, which is great to see. Sooner or later that what do you have tonight? 11 and 10 and 5. That'll turn into 18, 13 and 8. And then what he brings defensively. I mean, yeah, he's just I think he's just slowly figuring out the league. And once the game slows down for him even more, like I said, the production is just going to go up.
He just need to get stronger. That's all. He just need to get stronger because he can, against the stronger bigs like Towns and stuff, more experienced bigs. Sometimes he get knocked out of position and stuff like that. Once he's able to hold his position, he could dictate things a lot more. The numbers will go up, and he'll be able to control the game a lot more. It's key. Like on Saturday, you basically saw Brunson do it from the point guard position because his strength, he can hold his position. They bumping him. Sometimes he trying to act like he getting bumped so he can get the call. Regardless, he's still in control and holding his position, and you're not knocking him off course. And when you get a player that can do that, but with skill and understanding of how to score and make plays, you got a monster on your hands, and he's showing signs of being that. You know what I'm saying? Like by far, I mean the way it's looking, man, with this rookie class, man, you might have all 3 of them on a rookie team. At the end of the year, like it's just keeping it buck. So gotta give credit to the Wizards front office, man. Like they didn't miss. These guys, they're impacting the game. And the thing is, that's been beautiful is the vets have kind of allowed them to play through a lot of errors and stuff so they can learn because they understand like you only learn in the league. I think BJ Armstrong on his podcast, he said you only learn the NBA game by being in the NBA. There's nowhere else you can learn the NBA game. I know fans and other people on the outside don't want to. They think the level they play at helps them understand that. It's a unique game with a ton of uniquely talented players and unique talented coaches. Like it's just elite all around. So when you get that mixture, it's one of a kind. So you got to be in it and be around it to really understand what goes into it, and that's what they learning. You see what I'm saying? So. And they're getting more confident. They be like, "Oh, I can rumble a little bit. Or I can get mine off now." That's what you start to see. I can get this off. They start fit. Now we just wait for them to get to the level like, "Hey, bro, just play hard, be all right." But I'm gonna mess you up. It ain't nothing you could do. And when those 3, when they well 4 or 5, because you got to add Koulibaly into that as well. When they get to that point, that's when the Wizards, as a franchise, they take off again.
Yeah, and before we get to the comments, like we saw that happen with Sarr throughout the course of this game, beginning of the game. I think he got moved a little bit off a spot, trying to finish in the paint. Like he left some points on the board he missed a couple bunnies early in the first quarter, and then you saw as the game went on. I think it was one or 2 plays in the paint later in the game. He led with his shoulder and dictated like dictated the terms. I'm going to finish down here versus, because like you said, you are skilled enough to shoot a runner. That's great, but you're a footer. Go ahead and take your space and score. And again, go ahead, Cardo.
And what has he been, and one last thing, what has he been doing less?
Oh, not putting up them threes. Only 2 threes a night.
Exactly. That shit ain't last long, did it? All right. If I'm hitting it, cool. But that shit gotta be a minimum, kept to a minimum. 3 or 5 is great. But I gotta do my damage mid-range in or on the open court, making plays, use my versatility, man. And that's just him figuring things out, man. You know what I mean? Because all them bigs gonna do smart bigs. You ain't hitting that shit. You with us. I'm gonna sit back in the paint.
Oh, you're right. All right. Got a couple comments. I think first one was Blizzy Babies. Always appreciate you guys commenting. Love what the Wizards did as a collective. Everyone played well except BC and Kuz, but Kuzma did other things. I would take BC out of it. Like Bilal left the game because of sickness. But yeah, go ahead.
Kuzma coming off the ribbons. You trying to regain his form of rhythm and not mess up the flow.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, I give him props. Like he played 22 minutes. He was 2 or 3. He didn't even take a lot of shots, but he had 5 rebounds and 5 assists. So and 5 points, they won by 20. I can't say he played bad. He's trying to find himself, get right, but also find himself within how things are flowing, and that takes time. It's the game within the game. You can't come back out here I'm gonna just be cool. Y'all get with it because you can mess the whole thing up, and it's delicate as is. They just started figuring some things out and building some rhythm as a team. You don't want to be the guy that come in to be the team killer and chemistry killer, man. You just don't want that rep, man. So I applaud him, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that take a lot of discipline. Let's be real. He turned down a lot of shots. We've seen him happily take in that years with no hesitation. Nah, man, let me just play within the flow. And even with that, he still made an impact in 22 minutes. 5, 5, and 5. I'm not saying he set the world on fire, but the efficiency was great, and he didn't need to. And they smacked the Bulls by a dub, so it was all good.
Yeah, and I mean, go ahead, Ray. Sorry.
No, I'm saying honestly, we got a case study from that earlier this season. He was out for a few games, and they looked like they were starting to gel, and he came back, and he just forced the issue, instead of just kind of easing his way into it, like Cardell said, and they lost 17 games in a row or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, whatever progress they made in a few games was just derailed. So I mean, yeah, like that. I don't know if that went into his decision making how he played tonight, but if it did, that takes some humility and some maturity, because he sees that things are kind of going in a positive way, while coming here and rock the boat unnecessarily.
Yeah, I think a great example of that made me think. I didn't mean to cut you off. Right, was
no, you did.
In like the first quarter, he came in. Coming in with Brogdon and JV was usually been that second unit, whatnot. And I think he gave the ball up to Brogdon. He went immediately go get it back, as he's done, accustomed to doing here since he's been here, and since he's been gone. You guys mentioned the new current flow of things. Brogdon kind of didn't even pay any attention. Kuz kind of recognized, you saw on his face. Then he went into another action and went to go move away from the ball, go find something to do. Again, just an example of that maturity, because like you guys said, it could have went the other way. But it was funny watching on his face. And again, the value of Brogdon, because Brogdon did not even turn his head to it all. Like, sir, we are running this 2-man game with JV. You will get this on the backside of something, but it is not happening here. Again, the value of Malcolm Brogdon, because that type of discernment is huge.
And that's a big part of being a quality point guard, knowing when to tell people, no, you're not getting this, man. And that's what you see. And like I said, give props to Kuz. He didn't let that mess up his attitude and body. You see him pouting and stuff like that. No, he just played the game. Yeah, as a point guard, sometimes, no, you're not getting the ball right now. We have the advantage with this guy. He's getting the ball. Move. Balance your Z. It's as simple as that. And it happens to everybody. I can post clips of Jordan calling for ball, Pippen like, nah. And Jordan like, then he just go right into the triangle. He just get right back in the flow of it. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? you gotta do that sometimes because right now this is what's working for us. You're gonna get your shots, you're gonna get the ball, trust me. But right now we gotta milk this while we can. Because once they adjust me, this ain't gonna be there no more. Then we're gonna have to go to you.
Right. And again, just want to show him love, like we said, when people do wrong, we're on their case. When they do right, give them credit for it. And even there was a stretch in this game where we saw him just with the playmaking. I thought he did a good job tonight.
Yeah.
Finding a way, and even defensively, I liked his energy that he had. I think it was a couple of times hitting Champagne in transition after they got stops. Like
5 assists, no turnovers in 22 minutes.
It's a 20-point win, man. That's at the end of the day, that's what matters the most, right? Jamil Love with day by day building that bond.
All you can do. All you can.
But as always, we appreciate you guys. We're checking with you guys soon. I think they got the Pelicans on Sunday at home.
They got one before that.
They're on the road before that, right?
Yeah.
It's the Pelicans too on Friday.
Back to back, yeah.
Okay, got you. Little home and home action with the Pelicans. First at the Smoothie Center, and then here on Sunday at Capital One. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys 2 more times this week at the very least.